Welcome to the Nothing Much Just Chillin' Show with your hosts Emma and Julio. Nothing much, just chillin' show. Nothing much, just a chillin'.
Welcome back to NMJC, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Emma, and this is my podcast called Nothing Much Just Chillin', where we chill. And today we are chilling alone on this rainy Southern California day. It does indeed rain in Southern California. And what's funny about that is that it's like a snow day. I grew up in Maryland. I grew up on the East Coast. Like we had snow days. We didn't have rain days. But here in LA, we have rain days, and I've worked from home the past couple days. I mean, I always work from home. Obviously, the stuff that I'm working on, like video and photo wise, but unless I'm out shooting. But my job right now at the Getty, I had to work from home yesterday and today because it was raining and there were mudslides and there's flooding. It actually says life-threatening flooding on the weather app right now, and it has for the past 3 days. And I'm not trying to say that LA is being dramatic, but I'm just saying where I am, it's not that bad. I know there are so many places in LA that are experiencing a lot of flooding, and cars are getting swept up in the LA River, and there's mudslides going on. I see it on my For You page on TikTok and on Instagram. I see the destruction that the weather right now is causing. I think that authorities and I guess jobs are doing what they can to just limit the amount of people on the road, because also LA drivers are they're not that good with driving in the rain. It's just cautious to not drive right now or not go outside in this rain. But I will say where I am, I'm completely fine. I mean, every time there's rain in LA, I feel like I get a bunch of texts from people and my family being like, "Are you okay?" And I'm fucking fine. It's just rain. I've experienced rain my whole life. It's not new to me, but I also don't want to disrespect, I don't know, just how authorities, how people who live in LA are handling it right now, because I know that it's worse other places of the city, but right where I am, it's not that bad. If you are an LA resident and you are experiencing this rain right now or experiencing bad weather wherever you are, I hope you're okay and stay safe and dry and warm. Okay, this is gonna be a very chill episode because I don't really have that much to talk about, I say, before I talk about a lot of fucking things that I want to talk about. But this is gonna be a super chill episode, kinda. I don't know if it's gonna be chill. I don't know if I'm gonna go on a rant, but I want to do a little update, a little life update. Not really a life update because I don't really have that serious of updates, but just a little catch up. We're gonna have a little catch up, a little heart to heart right now. So yeah, strap in. Or don't, if you're not in the car. Put on your seatbelt. No, I used to say this all the time, but please tell me what you're doing when you're listening to this. I would really love to know how I am joining you today. Are you on a run? Are you on a walk? Are you working out? Are you at work? Are you on your commute to work or home from work? Are you on your lunch break? Cheers to that. If you choose to listen to me on your lunch break, whoa, because I have a lunch break at work. It's 30 minutes long. It's a spiritual experience, choosing what to watch on your lunch break. That, whoever's getting my attention during that time, I'm yes, this is giving me happiness. I mean, not that my job is I love my job. Honestly, it's not I'm leaving a dungeon to go outside and experience life, It's fine. I actually really, really like my job at the Getty, but my lunch break is my little solitude time where I get to catch up on a podcast that I like or watch a YouTube video that inspires me. I hold those 30 minutes very near and dear to my heart. So if you are listening to me on your lunch break, I feel valued. I do. So please let me know. Updates. Okay, so Julio and I last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we celebrated our 8-year anniversary. Isn't that crazy? We've been dating for 8 years. And this is the first year that we have celebrated on January 27th. I'm going to explain why we changed our anniversary date. Our anniversary date used to be March 12th. We had it at that date because that is the first night time. I don't know. It's the first day that we said, I love you to each other. Even though we felt it like much before that, but it just seemed a little bit too early. And, March 12th it's exactly a week after my birthday. And so when we get to March, it's like, we do like kind of separate celebrations for both, but I'd really just, I want to have March to myself, if that makes sense. I want to have March to myself. I want to have February to us, Valentine's Day. And I want to have January 27th, as our special anniversary day to celebrate how long that we've been together in a romantic way. Because even though we picked March 12th because that was the day where we're like, we love each other, we're not getting rid of each other, January 27th feels more like the start of what this has all blossomed into, right? Because that was the date, I don't know if you guys recall from the second episode of NMJC. If you haven't listened to that and if you want to know how Julio and I came to be, you can listen to episode number 2 of this podcast, How We Met. It's a good story. I love that story. I would tell it again right here, but it would take too long. But to shorten it, January 27th is a day that was during fake break. Elon University, our college that we went to in North Carolina, there is J term, and then there is fake break, which is a week-long break from school between January term. And during January term, it's like 3 weeks and you just take one class. So between January term and spring semester, there's this week off of school. And normally besides the year before, so this was my senior year of college, the year before I wasn't there for fake break because I was already in Copenhagen studying abroad. But during fake break, my freshman year and sophomore year, I wasn't there either or I was on my way going to be, oh my God. I was going to start my Elon in LA semester, so I wouldn't have been there anyway. But for freshman year, I didn't stay because I had a boyfriend. Basically, every time I had a break at school, at college, I would go home to Maryland because I had a boyfriend in Maryland. But this fake break came at a time which was just the perfect time. It was like 3.5 weeks after I had really cut things off with my ex-boyfriend, and it was like a toxic on and off relationship, so I was grieving it for like a very long time. It was needed, but I knew that if I went home during that fake break, I would make bad decisions. Let's just put it like that. And I would have been mad at myself, and I would have created another cycle of this toxic, emotional, abusive relationship, and it was right for me to stay on campus during fake break. I was like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna pick up shifts at my job, I'm gonna make a lot of money, And yeah, and so my friend Brandon, he had a jazz group called Small House, and they wanted to submit a video into the NPR Tiny Desk contest. And so Brandon asked me to film his band doing their performance to submit to the contest. And so I did that. I had work before that, and I did that. I remember I was like still in my work polo. And by the way, my job in college, if you didn't know, was event technology support. And I did like AV stuff for events on campus. So I was at my job, and then I go over to the music building to film them. And then they were like, Emma, we're performing at Irazu, which is a coffee shop on campus. It was oh my God. When I drank coffee, I loved Irazu. Loved their mochas. Were so bomb. Brandon was like, we're performing at Irazu, and come hang. And I didn't have anything to do that night because all my friends were in sororities, and during fake break, that's why I never stayed for fake break, because I wasn't in a sorority. During fake break is when sororities and fraternities, I think, did their like rushing process. So yeah, I just never wanted to be around for that. But yeah, so I just didn't have anybody to hang out with, and I was like, okay, yeah, like I'll just chill and listen to you guys play. You guys are amazing musicians, so yeah, I'll go. And so I go, and they're setting up their gear, and I sit down on a couch, and then I see Brandon go to greet someone who just walked into Irazu, and it was Julio. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, at this point we were just like acquaintances. We weren't even friends. We were just like friendly with each other, I guess. We were acquaintances. Like, we barely talked, but we had a couple moments, I'd say. You have to go listen to that episode, the second episode. But we had a couple moments during J term. It was beginning to like put a seed in both of our brains of like, oh, that person is cute. And so Julio walks in and like daps up Brandon or whatever, and I'm confused because I didn't know that they knew each other. And I know Brandon because we were neighbors my freshman year at Elon. He's also from Maryland. And yeah, I don't know, we remained friends over the course of the years. And yeah, he's an awesome person. He also worked at the library, so I would see him because my job was like in the library anyways. But yeah, so he walks up, daps up Julio, and Julio looks over, and I was like, oh my God, hi. He was like, oh, is this seat taken? I'm on a couch by myself. And I was like, yeah. And then why Julio knows Brandon is because Brandon lived in the same complex as Julio. Like, when Julio first came to Elon, Julio's first year at Elon was my last year at Elon, because he's a year younger than me, but he did 2 years at community college. So his first year was like his junior year, kind of his sophomore year at Elon, but I was a senior. Anyways, he lived in the same apartment complex as Brandon, and mutual friends kind of introduced them, and they became friends and would hang out. So yeah, it was just crazy that we had that like mutual connection, and then we met too off of a mutual connection because of Brett. And so basically he sits down next to me and we talk the entire night while the band is playing. So sorry, Brandon Hampton, but we talk the entire night. And then at the end, he gets my number, he gets my name wrong, he says my name's Emily. He walks me to my car, which I thought his car was in the same parking lot, but it wasn't. It was on the other side of campus, but he just walked with me because he wanted to hear the rest of my stupid story that I was telling. And I remember that night going home, seeing my suite mates, walking up the stairs to them, falling to the ground and being like, I think I just met the love of my life. I think I just met my soulmate. So yeah, that day, January 27th, is very special to us. And so we decided that we're going to celebrate our dating anniversary on January 27th now. And that's that. So yeah, but what did we do for our anniversary? We drove up the coast a little bit to Malibu, and we took a walk by the beach, and then we walked up to the Pacific Palisades Village and got some vegan banana chocolate chip bread from Sweet Laurel Bakery, and then we got some lunch from the Erewhon there, and just walked around in that bougie shopping center and around that cute ass neighborhood in the Palisades. Oh, I just love it so much. It's so perfect. It doesn't feel real when you're there. Like, life does not feel real. It feels like the Truman Show. That's what LA feels like a lot of the time. It feels like you're in the Truman Show and it's all just like a fake set around you. It's really hard to describe, but I feel like everybody who comes here or lives here like knows. They know what I mean. They know what I'm talking about. That's what we did in the morning. And then in the evening or late afternoon, we went to go get a dinner, which is what we like to call lunch and dinner. I mean, I didn't make that up, but I love a dinner. That's one thing about me. I love a brunch and a dinner. I don't like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I like brunch and dinner. That's my kind of vibe of like how I eat. And so we went to Pura Vida, one of our favorite all vegan Italian places in West Hollywood. And we were so disappointed. Like, everything we got was like a little bit off. Like, we hadn't been there for a little over a year probably. But yeah, everything was just off and not good, and nothing came out hot, and it was not satisfying. Like, we didn't get, even though we like ate a bunch, we like didn't get satisfied because nothing was that good. And the service is really good there too, but yeah, the food just like really was subpar that day. I don't know if it was just the day or I don't know what was going on, but I'm scared to go there again. So, and I'm scared to recommend it to people because I don't know if it's going to be a flop day like that day if they go and they're going to hate me. So yeah, I'm not recommending that to any of you. Don't go to Pura Vida until I go again eventually and can say that was just an off day. But it was a very off day, and I didn't want to take any chances on, because we wanted to get dessert too, and they have a really, really great chocolate cake. And if you know anything about me, you know I love chocolate cake. Like, I want to marry this chocolate cake. I've said that before many times. Like, every time I eat this chocolate cake, I say that. And we didn't want to risk it. We're like, what if everything is just bad today, or nothing's good anymore? And so we didn't risk it. We didn't eat dessert there. Instead, we walked to Nomu, like a mile to Nomu, and we got an Oreo milkshake. And the milkshakes at Nomu are so good, specifically the Oreo milkshake and the Blue Magic milkshake. But yeah, we got an Oreo one to share. Right as we were getting there, though, I remembered that our parking meter was about to run out in like 15 minutes, and we were like about, I don't know, like a 25-30 minute walk away from our car. So we got the milkshake and then like ran back to our car. And I swear, I thought I was going to throw up so many times because I was like eating the milkshake while running, and I felt, but it was so good. Like, the milkshake was so good. Like, it was a pleasant experience, like eating it, but probably not the best idea to run at the same time as eating it. Not the best idea indeed. But we made it. We got there. There was no ticket on our car, so it was fine. It was probably red. Like, the meter was probably red for like maybe 10 minutes, so it was fine. And then after that, we went to, or our car was actually parked like right across from the Improv. We went to the Improv. We went to the lab at the Improv. So the Improv in Hollywood, it has the main room and the lab is much smaller, and smaller comedians perform there, but nonetheless, they're still hilarious. Or they just do like more like curated shows and stuff. I don't know. It's a cool venue. It's a cool, small, intimate venue. We really like it. We've seen a lot of acts there, and we saw that Elon alum Jay Light was going to be performing that night, so we went to see him, and he was amazing. He was so good. He's always so good. We haven't seen him in a really long time. We used to go to a lot of his shows to show support, and we hadn't in a while, so we're like, let's fucking go. Let's go to a comedy show on our anniversary. And yeah, that was a highlight of the day. It made up the really good show, because him and the other comics that night were really funny. The good show made up for the bad dinner. And then I think we went home and we watched Love Island. So we were watching the new Love Island All Stars right now, but I don't really want to talk about that because we're not caught up all the way. But I do want to talk about Apple TV, because in December I got an email that the subscription for Apple TV was going to increase. And I was like, fuck that. We don't use it that much. Like, we watched Ted Lasso. That's pretty much why we got Apple TV. We watched Ted Lasso, and I think we watched Platonic. Really good shows. Both of them, Ted Lasso and Platonic. And yeah, I really liked those shows, and it just didn't occur to me to like go search up like other things on Apple TV to watch. Even though I did really like those shows, I don't know why we didn't just like continue at the time with watching, but we hadn't watched Apple TV for a while. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to cancel it. So I canceled it, and it said that I had till January 29th to, like, my subscription would end January 29th. And so I'm like, okay, let's spend January just binging a bunch of Apple TV and see if we can like finish everything that we want to finish, because there were and then of course I started getting like TikToks of like, these are shows that you need to watch, and it was like all Apple TV, and I was like, okay. Really? So we watched as much as we physically could during that time. We watched there's only one season of Shrinking with Jason Segel. Excellent show. We watched The Buccaneer. No, Julio always says that I say that wrong. I think it's The Buccaneers. The Buccaneers. Really cute show. There's only one season of that. It's about like a group of New York socialites in the olden times whose parents want their daughters to marry into rich families in England and Scotland and the UK. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of like Bridgerton-ish, but with like American vibes. I don't know, but I loved it, especially just because like I'm really on like a researching like marriage kick right now, or it was like now I'm just kind of like, oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But I am going to make a podcast about it, but it's kind of about the roles that women have in marriage and society, and it's just all very like, you know, that kind of vibe. Anyways, so we watched all of that, and then we started the morning show, and we watched the first season, the second season, and now we are on the third season because we're obsessed. We love it. Oh my god. There's Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell in this show just fucking killed it. Like, it's so good. I highly encourage you to watch any of those shows, but I think morning show is really, really well done. And so we're on the season 3 of that, but it is past January 29th, guys. But like the second my subscription ran out, our TV in our room, it's a Samsung, and there was like a little ad that said, with Samsung you get 3 months free trial of Apple TV. And so we started that. So we have 3 more months to finish all the things that we want to finish on Apple TV. So that's very exciting for us. Please comment. Please tell me if there's anything on Apple TV that you think that we should watch that's worth the watch, because yeah, there's so much on there that I just never knew about. And yeah, I'm regretting not using my subscription to the fullest before, but it's okay. We'll have these 3 months, and then we'll decide if we have the money to keep on paying for it. But right now, this free trial is working just fine. So I never really did an episode about New Year's resolutions, and I just have one, or I have like 2 really, and they're kind of just like quotes or sayings to keep in the back of my mind and try to motivate me to do all the things that I need to do and B want to do, that are like ones that aren't just like, oh, what I want to do, but like what I want to do to like reach a certain goal that I have for anything in my life, like physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually. So my first resolution is to have more good days than bad days, because there have been just so many periods of time since the pandemic, the past 4 years, that I've just gone through life and not remembered like the last time I was like genuinely really like happy or proud of myself or secure, or I don't know, like I was like feeling like myself. And I am just trying to really, really focus on taking care of myself, what that means for my body, what that means for my heart, my mind, you know, emotionally, mentally. I'm just trying to like take care of myself so that I have more good days than bad days. And honestly, I've been achieving that so far this year. Like honestly, January has been so great. I've been putting into practice like a lot of good habits that I've been wanting to pick up or wanting to like incorporate into my routine of life, and just never have like, and I never thought that like I had the time to, or like just never like prioritized a lot of things. And even with like working out, I know it's so like cliche to be like, yeah, I'm like gonna start working out in the new year, but I haven't been consistent with working out. Like I like walk a lot, and that's pretty much it. Like I walk a lot, but I haven't been consistent with like working out with weights for a very long time, like since the beginning of the pandemic. And that was like the last time I had a gym membership too, when the pandemic hit. And so I just haven't really like put a lot of pressure on myself to really stick to a workout routine. But ever since the start of this year, like the end of last year, I've been being really consistent with it, and it's like making me feel better. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Working out makes me feel better. Oh God. Alert the media. I figured it out. And also, you know, I'm eating healthy. Well, I'm always like balanced, I feel like, with how healthy I eat and how unhealthy I eat, but incorporating more strength training and I've also been running more, and it's been making me feel really fucking good. And yeah, just doing things that make me feel good. Oh, also reading. So I already finished 2 books this year, which is great. And which is the amount of books that I finished last year. So I'm way above board right now with that resolution. Sort of, I guess is one of my resolutions. Just like, I mean, just read more. So I am doing that. I'm just really taking care of myself, and it's hard for me to do when I have like a full-time job, or when I have like a temp job, like a job that I have to be like in office for. Like it's really hard for me to like stick to a routine, because I don't know, just other priorities take place, or I'm just fucking tired. I don't have the energy to take care of myself. But I'm being like really conscious of that, / like this job for me is really healthy in a way because of the commute. The commute is so great. I live really, really close to the Getty, and it's made my life improve so much. Like last time I worked at the Getty in 2022, I was living downtown, and that was like an 1.5 hour commute. So that was like 3 hours of my day that I was like spending commuting, and it just like I did nothing. Like my mental state during that time was so bad, but I loved working at the Getty so much that I didn't want to give it up. But it's just a much better situation now. And yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna work there, honestly. Like I've I have no idea like when I'm gonna stop, but for right now it's been really great, and it's been really great that I've been just taking the time to take care of myself and really letting myself relax too. I mean, I feel like the first 2 weeks of January are fucking scary, because if you're like me, you're like, oh, I need to fix everything about myself right now, like on January 1st, and you put so much pressure and stuff. But I kind of just let myself like ease in to my good habits, into my resolutions, like in a way that didn't feel like I was taking off something on my to-do list. It's like, oh, if I feel like doing this, or like I was getting excited about like new workouts to do, or new like routes to take on my run, or I don't know, just like getting innovative and excited about how I would incorporate the habits that I wanted to incorporate. Like, for example, I've had a gua sha, like, you know, the little gua sha, what's it called? Handle thing? I don't know. The gua sha stone. I've had one for a very, very long time, and I've never been consistent with it, and I've always wanted to. And I was feeling like in this section of my, I mean, if you're just listening on audio, you don't know what I'm talking about, but like the bottom half of my face like just felt like a lot of like liquid in it, and really like puffy. And so it got to the point where I'm like, I want to gua sha because I want to see if that actually works and if I feel better, because I was just feeling uncomfortable whenever my mouth was like fully closed, if that makes sense. That, like, I don't know, my jaw, like I thought I had like jaw issues or something. I'm like, something is up. I'm like, is my overbite like too much, and like I can't close my mouth comfortably anymore, like, because that could still be it. Like my overbite is so bad. But so I started doing gua sha, but I hate the process of like putting on oil on my face and then standing in front of the mirror and doing it. Like, I just hate it so much. Like, I just was so, because I would try to do it before I showered, and like, I don't know, when I want to shower, like I want to immediately submerge myself under the hottest water in the world, you know, just scorching hot. I just want to get in there. I would just kind of like half-ass the gua sha routine before the shower because I just wasn't that into it. But now I realized that you just really need water. Like, you don't need oil, you don't need a fancy oil or any oil or anything really on your face. But so now every time I shower, I just sit down on the floor in the shower, and I do my gua sha routine. I just feel like it feels so like luxurious, just like sitting in the shower and just doing this like beauty routine. And so I've really kept up with it like every day for, I don't know, the past like 2-3 weeks or so. And I've really noticed a difference with the bottom half of my face. Like what I was saying, like I'm not uncomfortable at all anymore, and it feels like everything's been like pushed away, and I feel way less puffy. And it actually, who knew, it worked. Another thing I've been doing is I've been taking magnesium before going to bed, or like a little bit before going to bed. I'll make a little like magnesium cocktail for myself. I use the Moon Juice magnesium powder, and it really fucking works. It puts me to sleep, and I have slept so well ever since I started doing that. Like I'm a bad sleeper sometimes. Like I have really bad nightmares, and I have a lot of intrusive thoughts that enter my mind like right as I'm trying to go to bed. And this magnesium cocktail that I'm making for myself now is just helping so much. And it's helping so much like with my anxiety, even like during the day. Like I just feel like so dare I say chill? I feel so like chill all the time now. I've really been loving it. Okay, so those are some examples on what I'm doing to make sure that I have more good days than bad days. Another resolution, quote, that I'm living, that I'm trying to embody for this year is standing on business. Now, this little saying has become very common on TikTok, everybody being like, oh, she's standing on business. It just means like you're taking care of business. You're doing the things you need to do. You're getting done what needs to get done. And I think that is so fitting, okay? I'm a month out from being 30. I need to stand on business. I need to start standing on business. I mean, I feel like I've been training for this my whole mid-late 20s to have this perspective of like, if something's broken, if I need to do something, I'm just gonna fucking do it. It's gonna take 15 minutes, or it's gonna take me so much shorter of a time than I thought it would take. You know, for example, I was driving to work last week, and my engine light came on, the service light came on. And so I was like, okay, I'll go to Jiffy Lube right after work. And I did that. I went to Jiffy Lube right after work, got it fixed. I don't want to be driving around with lights in my car. I don't want to be irresponsible. I don't want to be an irresponsible driver. I don't want anything to happen to me on these LA streets flooded with water, you know? Like I need to stand on business. I need to take care of things. And so that is the motto that I am living by this year, okay? Standing on business, whether that be making sure I get done all the self-care that I need to get done, or making sure that I fix my car when I need to fix my car. It's so satisfying having radical self-responsibility, taking responsibility for the things that you need to get done and just doing it, and not letting it just cloud your mind with like, oh no, I need to be doing that. Like, just do it. Just do it. I sound like a Nike commercial, but that is really how I feel. Like, just get it done. Don't dwell on things. Even if you get like a parking ticket, just pay it. I mean, unless it's like an unfair one, like obviously like try to debate it, but oh my God, sorry, that was like a little like mom of me. That was a little like 30-year-old Emma of me, okay? That is scary. Okay, so whatever your resolutions are for this year, whatever your goals are for this year, if you abandoned them already, or if you didn't even start them, or if you haven't even thought of one that you want to, if you haven't thought of anything that you want to accomplish this year yet, you know, it's February 6th right now, it's fine. It's totally fine, because you know what? January is for hibernation, okay? We just came out of a month and a half of holidays, being around family, you know, social gatherings, all of that. Like, it's okay if in January you did nothing but rot. It really, really is. It's okay if you did nothing that your future self would thank you for. You know, that's the saying that people always say. It's okay, because January is hibernation month. I saw this TikTok the other day that humans are the only animals that just ignore the natural cycle of life, right? In winter, many animals hibernate, and I think that's what we're supposed to do too, is like be indoors, be cozy, maybe be a little antisocial, not want to see people, not want to go out. And I think it's in our nature to stay home and be warm and eat food, and maybe have more like fat on our stomachs during this time, because we need to warm ourselves up, warm our bodies up naturally. I don't know, like there's so much that we just ignore because we're part of, I don't know, a capitalistic society. We ignore the times that we need to take breaks or rest or vacations, and then that's how people really have a lot of bad days. So we want to not have that, okay? And so I'm telling you right now, totally get it if you have not started on your goals this year, because January is for doing nothing. That's what it's for. But February, March, the spring is where you can bloom, is where you can blossom. So start laying a little bit of those seeds now. I guess, and stand on business, whatever that means for you. Don't be too hard on yourself for not having a perfect start to the year, but also don't punish yourself by thinking like, oh, well, I didn't do anything that I said I was going to do in January, so I'm just going to give up. There's so much time. And also New Year's is so like, it's just so random. Like you can choose to change something that you want to change in your life at any point in the year. It doesn't have to be New Year's. I do think that there's like naturally that inclination to be like, okay, New Year's, I'm gonna do XYZ, and I'm gonna have a fucking 6-pack by summer, and I'm gonna be a billionaire by September, and I'm going to have read 400 novels. Like, you know, like it's just, people put very high, they set high goals, and that's fine. Like I'm not really a resolutions person, but if you are like a goal setting person and you are mad at yourself for not starting on your goals yet, don't be too hard on yourself. You can start now. Let this be your inner voice talking to you. It's okay. There is time. There's still time in the year. Only 1 month has gone by, and you know, things take time. The turtle wins the race. I should know some quote right now about a turtle, like the slow and steady wins the race. I think that's how that saying goes. Maybe, I don't know, but you can take your time. The people who are just searching for the fast results, the people who set out goals just so they can achieve them in 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks have gone by, they're like, oh, well, I didn't achieve it, so I'm never going to. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just ease yourself into things, and your self-responsibility and self-love and sense of accomplishment will be so much better if you take things slower, if you take things at your own pace and not the pace that you think that you should, because you see arbitrarily like other people with the same goals as you reaching them before you or something. Like you have no idea what they had to go, if they have more time than you or if they got a head start. You know what I mean? Like it's don't compare yourself to other people, and don't beat yourself up, because there is time. That's all I'm trying to say. There is time. And if you're like me and you're not a resolutions person, maybe just find some quotes, find some sayings, find something to live by, to have in the back of your mind, because I don't know, I think that's helpful, especially for someone whose just mind is so chaotic. It's nice to just have some like laurels to land on, to be, I don't know, to keep me grounded, to keep me rooted in my goals and in what I'm doing. But yeah, anyways, that is the episode for this week. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked chilling with me. Please let me know. Please comment, subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Sorry for the little hiatus I took, you know, that thing that women have. Yeah, I get it bad, and I only feel good 1 week of the month, and I should just record all my episodes during that 1 week. But sometimes I can't. So hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.
Nothing much, just a chillin'.